Hello and welcome to the 5th grade curriculum preview for the 6 weeks. You have 2 units this 6 weeks, the 20th century and the 21st century. The 21st century only has 9 days and the 20th century has 20. The 21st century has a lot less content, and I know that many 5th grade classes are behind in the scope and sequence. I really want to stress how important it is that students have at least a small background in World War II and the Civil Rights Movement. They will not encounter that content again until they are juniors in high school. And as they go into world history, as they learn about world cultures, and as they're walking through life, those are 2 pretty significant events. So if you're behind in the scope and sequence, those are 2 areas that you don't want to scrimp on. I have listed lots of additional resources outside of the textbook in this curriculum preview. So I hope that because the 20th century in particular is very dense, the 21st century is not as much. So if you need to carve out a few days out of the 21st century to put back with 20th, that's something that you might need to do. So here are our our bundles for the 20th century. Sorry, this is your unit, the 20th century, but we have them bundled together. So you're going to have 3 days talking about World War I and the Great Depression, 8 days on World War II, 3 days on a dangerous world after that, which has to do with some different conflicts, 4 days in the struggle for equal rights, which is going to be a women's right to vote as well as the Civil Rights Movement, and then 2 days on the Cold War. So here are your guiding questions. Here's your vocabulary, your key people and events. Now I know this is a long list, but some of them are really interrelated. So they need to know the Civil Rights Movement, and they're going to learn that Dr. King and Rosa Parks were very integral to the Civil Rights Movement. The Tuskegee Airmen, the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, they were part of World War II. The Tuskegee Airmen have been tested on the 11th grade EOC for social studies several times. So we want to make sure that kids are heading up to secondary with a little knowledge about the Tuskegee Airmen. Here are some more of our key people. So Reading A to Z has been provided for the entire district. It's searchable by standard, by skill, and by keyword. But one of the things that I've been working on throughout the year is finding all of the titles that match your social studies units. So in ELAR, the 6 weeks you guys are doing research, so these might be some titles that could help your kids research the historical topics that are in this unit. And if it wasn't necessarily apparent from the title, I went ahead and put beside it what social studies content it's covering. These should all be very close to your students' reading levels, and these are all in Reading A to Z. They can be used during guided reading. If it's the child's instructional level, independent reading, shared reading, they're projectable. They can read them on a device. So there's lots of different ways to use them. Then in United Streaming or Discovery Streaming, there are all these video clips that could help kids get pieces of this instruction, so it's not all textbook. Through the district, we all can have a Discovery Streaming account. If you don't have one, talk to your librarian or your digital learning specialist and they can get you hooked up. Some of these are animated and very engaging. Some of them are primary source with a video of the actual event. So there's lots of different choices, and I just wanted to list them out by title. These are their exact titles, so you should be able to type them in Discovery Streaming and go right to them. I wanted to share with you some other resources. I'm going to upload this as a slideshow as well, without the narration, so you'll have the live links on the page. Mr. Betts' class is a YouTube channel. Mr. Betts is a secondary social studies teacher, and he makes song parodies about U.S. history. So like the Great Depression one here is to a song from Greece. And he's very silly, but it's very engaging, and the content is spot on. So these 5 help cover what you have to teach this unit. Also, Sung History is put together by DreamWorks Animation, and they're educational videos. My personal favorite is George Washington Carver. It's sung from the perspective of Peanuts, who kind of see him as a villain because thanks to him, peanuts are being used. But they are fun and funny, but again, the content is spot on. And the animation was done by DreamWorks, which did movies like Shrek. So for a quick 5-minute YouTube instructional video, the animation is pretty good, and they're really cute. Next, for your 20th century, you have, every 5th grade team has a primary source readers, the 20th century box. There are, it covers 4 of the areas that you need to cover, and it has a teacher guide. Now, when I was in the classroom, I did use these books, but I didn't know about the teacher guide, and it has activities that you can run off that go with each book. There's vocabulary lessons, comprehension questions, and all sorts of different pieces that go with them. Then NBC Learn, which is part of your Pearson account. To access your account, you use your district login. You can get there through the digital learning page, through Learning Resources, click on Pearson, then Pearson Realize, and you can go in and set up your account. If you haven't set up your account before, you'll need to add NBC Learn through Settings. So you click on the little person in the corner, you choose Add Programs, and then you add and save NBC Learn. So all of these videos are archived NBC News clips. And so these are the clips that help cover what you need to teach this 6 weeks, or in this unit about the 20th century. They are, NBC Learn, just so you know, has videos on all content areas. It's searchable by our state standards as well as by keyword. There are videos for language arts that are particularly good, but there's also science and math as well. So that's something that you might want to share with your teammates, or if you're self-contained, might be helpful to you in other content areas. Flocabulary has been provided to us by the technology department, and it is fantastic. You can access vocabulary through the digital learning page as well. Each of these titles is one of the vocabulary videos that would help you teach what is in this 6 weeks. So they are raps that are done on different areas of content. If you need help getting into your account, a digital learning specialist can help you. I also have a one-page like little informational slide I'll upload in Canvas as well. But it's really easy to do. You just have to register because our district has provided licenses for everyone. But they're quick. You can print off the lyrics as well if you want to do it as shared reading. But they're quick and they're catchy, and the kids really seem to like them. One of the things that I really like about them is that they use so much good social studies vocabulary, and then they'll explain it right after they use it. So they're very clever and engaging, and I hope it's a resource that you will implement. So next, as we move into the 21st century, it has 3 different areas. Conflicts, which is mostly the war on terror and 9/11, politics, and the future, and how things are changing around us. So here are your guided questions. So you're going to be talking a lot about current events. So this isn't a unit where we're going to be doing as much with trade books, because the 21st century is happening right now around us. So this might be, you find a newspaper article about driverless cars. That is one of the ways that we're changing. Talking about social media, the last election, those kind of things. So here's our vocabulary, our key people and events, so reading A to Z, again, here are the titles. Now, I know right here, Donald Trump, Republican candidate, that now President Trump is in office, but reading A to Z, their most current is about him as a candidate, but it's still, the biographical information is still going to be correct. So that might be a good resource. This one here, Cyber Problems, is about, it is a closed reading passage about the choices students make on social media. 9/11 is a big part of this unit, and there's several titles here as well about that. So vocabulary has a video about 9/11 and the war on terror. United Streaming has these videos. How to Become the President of the United States. When I first saw the title, that wasn't one I would have used in this unit, except that it goes into really well. It explains political parties as well as the process of how someone becomes the president. Additional resources. I really think this is going to be a unit where you can use lots of newspapers, magazines, websites, current events, and that you could also interview parents and community members. Your 5th graders are not old enough to have been there for 9/11, but their parents, their aunts and uncles, their grandparents could come in and talk about that experience, or other experiences in the 21st century. They could talk about the 2008 election or the 2016 election. Or if your students have any family members who served in the military during our war on terror in Iraq and Afghanistan. If you do have a military member come in to do an interview, I'd like to help give you and your speaker some guidelines to help them to have that talk, and I've done that for some schools. So it's just really important to help to move kids from their focus. They often want to talk about weapons and killing, which can be uncomfortable for both parties, which of course it's a part of it, but it's not where we want our kids to focus, kind of to help shift the conversation to the geography, because that can be really helpful. And then also about the ways our military helps people, the positive influence it has, the type of training that they've done, the way that they've had to stay in school, just lots of different things to help kids narrow the focus of the questions they ask, as well as to help the speaker narrow the focus so it's grade level appropriate. I am an Air Force brat. I grew up on military bases all over the world, and so it's a subject that's really dear to my heart, and my dad's a disabled veteran, and so if you have a current military member coming in to speak or a veteran coming in to speak, please let me know. I'd love to come celebrate that with you as well as help guide the conversation. Here's the blueprint for the 5th grade CBA in May. I wanted to make sure you had that in plenty of time. The test has not changed, so it should be questions you're familiar with. If there's anything I can do to support your instruction, I am here. You can email me at dawn.fielder@birdvilleschools.net, or my extension's 5680. I'd love to come out and plan with you, do a model lesson. If you're having a field trip, I'd love to talk to you about how you can add more social studies into that field trip. Just in general, if there's anything I can do to support your social studies instruction, please let me know. I hope you have a great rest of the year, and if there's anything I can do to support you, I will gladly do that. All of the resources that are listed in the curriculum previews, part of my work over the summer, we'll be adding those to the unit overviews as we are moving them to Google. I hope you're having a great day, and if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know.